Mucho trouble. All right, well, let's see, do we have a quorum? Yes, we do. So we got missing a couple of guys, but I'm gonna go ahead and call us to order. Regular meeting of the Public Utilities Commission, Town of Bethel, Monday, September 20th, 2021. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Kathy, we don't have anybody who's from the public, I don't think, right? All right, no correspondence, correct? All right. Knock those off. Meeting format, we are 100% Zoom, right? Okay, and I think you posted this more than 48 hours and we had no request for a meeting room. Okay, very good. In that case, our first order of business is to accept the minutes of the previous regular meeting, which was August 16th, 2021. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Moved by Paul, second by Dino. Any corrections, any discussion?
None.
Hearing none, those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, that carries. Financials, and I will turn the floor over to Brad. Thank you, and Brad, by the way, for Dino and Tom's benefit, the Board of Selectmen last week appointed Brad interim comptroller while we wait for a final recommendation from the Board of Finance. So Brad, congratulations, and
Thank you.
You are it.
Thank you. All right. Well, this should be pretty quick. We're only 2 months into the year. The numbers look way better in August than July, but that has everything to do with it being a collection month. So you'll see water and sewer both in a surplus position. There's not a lot in the way of expenses to really talk about. We're 2 months in. Before the meeting starting, Tom and I were actually talking about it. There's really not a lot out there, which is good. You know, especially this early in the year, we don't want anything major to talk about when we're talking about expenses for this. So I'm going to keep it short and sweet and just ask if anybody has any questions about it.
Nope.
No. I just have a general question because I see it every time and I really don't know what it means. And that is at the end of each one of the muni reports, like it says total water use fund. And then on the sewer, I think it says total sewer use fund. What is that? 428,977.95.
Yeah, pulling up. So
It's on page 7.
yeah. All right. So you're looking at the water one first.
Right.
Yeah. So what happens with these reports, and it's something that the auditors made us change 5 or 6 years ago, is we have to book the revenue based on the billing that Ann does. And the cover sheet that Bob does for you guys talk about what's been collected. And Bob's always done the collected versus the billing, just because it's easier to look at what's come in versus what's gone out. So if you look at like the page 7 on there, that's actually in the total use. It's the year to date. It means that we've billed out more than we've taken in of 428. That's not, like I said, that's not going to tie out with the cover sheet that Bob does, because we're talking about billing versus collection.
And is that's the same thing I take it for the sewer too?
Yep. Yeah. It was 5 or 6 years ago they made us change that. And then once we did, Bob said, that's confusing. I think the board would rather just see what money we actually took in, because it's a lot easier to go in versus out.
I got it. I kept looking at it saying, what the heck is this? You know, all right. I understand. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay. Any other questions? All right, in that case, I'll put a motion on the floor that we accept the financial report. There's a second by Paul. Any other discussion? Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, that carries. Invoices, as usual, I will kick off the discussion by putting a motion on the floor that we approve the invoice request dated September 20th, 2021 Although there's one typo on the sheet, it says 2020 on there, but in the amount, there's 7 items in the amount of $317,663.53. So is there a second? Second by
Second.
Paul. Any discussion? Any questions for Tom or Brad? And hearing none, I'll try your minds. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. That carries. No new business to discuss tonight, so we'll go on to director's report. Tom, floor is yours.
Okay, I have a couple items. My vehicle, which I got just about 3 years ago as a lease, is now up. So I basically have 2 options with the vehicle, and I just wanted to basically, see what our 2 options were and see if I got any feedback. If we turn that lease in and start with a new lease, the rate now has gone up over $100 a month. So at $512 a month for 36 months, again, we'd be leasing a vehicle for 3 years and have to turn it back in. The option to purchase this vehicle, which I think makes sense and was looked at by the finance department, and they agreed. The buyout on that vehicle is $20,600. And we've already have for the remainder of the 9 months that are left in the year, at $400 a month, we were already going to spend $3,600 on it. So for the buyout of $20,600, and we were already budgeting to spend $3,600, really we're looking at a differential of $17,000 to purchase the vehicle and then have it free and clear. Splitting between water and sewer would be about $8,500. So,
And Tom, remind me, on your vehicle, isn't there something like 10 to 12,000 miles on it?
yeah, the vehicle is very low mileage. I'm only using it, while I'm out on the job. I'm not taking it home. So in 3 years, I've got like 9,000 miles on the vehicle. So
Yeah.
flat out purchasing it, I think we'll be able to keep that car for, beyond the 3 years of say what the next lease would be, and then we basically have no payments.
Yeah.
So if you're inclined to approve just taking that out of capital, or I can make a formal request at the next meeting if that's preferred. I just wanted to lay out what the options were at this point.
It would make sense to just buy out the lease with the way things are going on the car market these days.
Exactly. It's a good vehicle. It's a Chevy Equinox. It's a 2019. Like I said, low mileage. I'm sure it's going to have low mileage over the next 3 years. So I think we'll have the car for multiple years after the, say what the next 3-year lease would have been had we chosen to go with another lease.
And when Tom and I talked about, because we could finance the 20,000 over a number of years. I think we're in a position at $10,000 per utility. We should just buy it and not pay any interest on the thing and just get it done.
I agree.
All right, well, I'll make a motion that we approve. What's the final number again, Brad?
Tom had it was 20,000.
Well, the buyout is at this is going to be $20,632.44.
20,632.44.
Yeah, that's the latest number I got from the finance department. So
Do me a favor, can you do 21,000? Because sometimes there's some
good
trade-in fee that, or registration fee that.
All right.
All right.
I'll make a motion that we approve $21,000 to be evenly divided between water and sewer to purchase to buy out the lease for the director's vehicle.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion?
Just
No.
a curiosity question. What's the warranty like on it?
I
It's
didn't
probably-
look at that specifically. They tend to be 3-year, 36,000 miles. So that being the case, we're at the 3 years. Unless it was a 550, but I would guesstimate that it's a 3-year 36, and the warranty is probably coming due at this point as well.
And you haven't been experiencing any issues.
No issues at all.
Great.
2 oil changes, and that's been it.
Yep. All right, those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. That carries.
Okay. Thank
So
you.
Tom, what else?
A couple other things coming up, just for points of information. I'll be working on our emergency response plan. It's going to be due to some legislation that came down the road. And it's going to be due in December. So I'll be looking at updating that. I'll try to get together with Tom Galliford and get some of his input on that as well, and staff. But I just wanted to let you know that'll be something I'm going to be working on.
Mhm.
Another item we've discussed, briefly in the past is our upcoming rates, which are coming due. Our most recent rate increase is actually the last one that's been approved. So it was effective this past January. So as far as timing, I got some updated information to get to our rate consultant to ask him to crank that into the model. And I'm thinking that we'll be ready to do something with rates, if not October, maybe as the PUC, but then we're going to need to have a public hearing. We're going to have to put those rates into the newspaper. So I'm thinking probably the month of November, maybe carrying into like the first meeting of December will probably be about the timing. We looked at it in the past, and I think we're going to be on track with the current rate increases we've been doing at about 3.5% a year, cranking in all the extra capital projects and O&M expenses. So that's most likely going to be what the recommendation is going to fall in at.
Okay.
So more to come once I hear back from the rate consultant. My two other items I have, meeting formats we talked about briefly. I'd recommend we just stick at this point with virtual meetings until further notice. I think if we just go ahead in that direction, I think as time moves on and we decide we want to open it up to in person, we can make that recommendation. But rather than touching base on it every month, I'd say we just go forward with a virtual meeting at this point.
I have no objection to that.
No, not the way things are currently.
Exactly. And then the last thing I'll bring up under director's report, it probably would have been addressed under Kelly's supervisor's report, but Kelly couldn't make today's meeting. Just wanted to report, we had a gasoline odor at the Paul Street pump station last week. I think it was Thursday. We notified Danbury, since our wastewater gets pumped to their facility. Danbury's fire department responded, Bethel's fire department responded, and the deep spill response individual responded as well. Basically, none of the gas odor made its way towards the Danbury plant, which is good. We used the 4 gas equipment detectors that the fire department has. We ended up testing multiple manholes, got it back to the kind of the upstream end of the line over off Taylor Avenue near Vanderbilt. The deep guy was there. Vanderbilt was clean. Their site, Worth Construction site, was clean. A couple of the other kind of commercial or industrial, there's a garage facility with about 5 different storage units over there. Everything turned out to be clean. In other words, there was no evidence of any spill. There was no evidence of any liquid. It was just an odor that was detected. The fire department ended up flushing the line with about 1,000 gallons. They used like a spray system to add the water and kind of put it under a spray to kind of move the non-wetted portion of the line to push it downstream. Long story short, Danbury saw no evidence of it. The next morning we were all clear. And at this point, I'm just waiting to get the deep, report from their spill response person. And I'm not expecting that it's really going to have much in it other than the activities that I just described here. But I just wanted everyone to be aware in case they heard from someone else at a later date.
Was that also over on Beach Street too, that I saw the Reading Fire Department there?
I don't think you saw Reading. I don't know that they responded, but
I saw the Reading truck. That's the reason why.
Well, we did test the manhole on Beach Street. We found it at Paul Street, of course. I think they noticed an odor over on Greenwood Avenue at the
Okay.
corner near Grassy Plain. So basically, we went from that point and we just went further upstream. So
Okay.
yeah, we checked manholes along Greenwood back to Farnham. That was clean. We checked them along Reservoir, South Street. South Street got us to basically Henry Street, and then we ended up getting over towards Taylor. So
Okay.
again, no smoking gun. There's no evidence of any direct spills or any liquid that was found, and just one of those things.
Yeah, because I picked up
Well,
my vehicle over at Bellardinelli's and saw all that activity.
Yeah, we
I
were
do
there
believe
Thursday
believe
afternoon,
that,
I think it was, Paul.
Chief McCollum did say that Reading did report too, because we saw him
Okay.
that night.
All right, thank you.
It was Tuesday.
And actually, you're right. I was just going to say it was Tuesday.
Oh.
Anyway, that's all I had for director's report.
All right, well, any other questions for Tom on that? If
Nope.
not, we'll move into capital project summary, which,
Okay, on our sewer project, the sub area 14 sanitary sewer rehab, Kenyon Pipeline Inspection is the contractor. They basically wrapped up their field work at the very end of last week. So the project is going to be substantially complete. The payment we just approved, there'll be one other payment that's going to come in that'll basically cover the remainder of that work. And then other than review by our engineer of all the CCTV reports after the work was done, that's going to be basically be wrapped up. On our water project, the 2021 water mains, that contractor is Guerrero Construction. The mains on Pleasant Street and Fleetwood Park are both installed. On Pleasant Street, the main passed its pressure and disinfection tests, and they've actually started transferring services. As of today, there's been 4 out of the 12 services that have been transferred. On Fleetwood, we took samples, so we're waiting to get the results on the testing before they can proceed further. They actually cleaned things up a bit and did the paving over there. The end of last week, they tapped Library Place for the 12-inch main they're going to install on School Street, and they're going to proceed with that main starting tomorrow. So far, contractors making good progress, and we've had no complaints about their work. For the Bergstrom well project, Wright Pierce is at about the 60% design stage. They've submitted plans to me at that point, and I'm in the process of looking those over. I think we'll be scheduling a meeting in the next week or 2 with them to just go over that, to get them to continue on. When I have a date of a meeting, I can share that in case anyone's interested in sitting in. But that's where we're at there. Last year's sewer work, the way they do these sewer projects, there's a 1-year review period. So the contractor comes back out and CCTVs the lines. Weston and Sampson reviewed those. They found 2 small defects on one of the sewer mains that they lined. So they have to come back out at their cost and do a couple of minor repairs. So that's going to get scheduled, and that'll be done relatively soon. The automatic transfer switch at Paul Street, that was replaced, and that was successful. We did that on August 31st, a couple of weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. And it was tested, everything worked out fine. And the following week during the tropical storm, we did lose power for about 4 hours, and the transfer switch worked fine. Started up the temporary generator, and we had no problems with it. So that's a good sign. The replacement generator is still on schedule, and we're expecting that to be delivered sometime in October, with replacement to follow right thereafter. And my last item, the boiler at Paul Street. The building maintenance department has been telling me it's old and tired and needs to be replaced. The flue is not looking in good shape at all. So I'm working with the building maintenance department and their contractor, who's replaced a few of these for the schools, and we're gonna put a plan of action together for replacing that.
okay, great.
That's all I have.
All right, any questions for Tom?
Nope.
Tom, is the work over between CVS and the post office, is that for that new tie-in?
That's correct.
Okay,
Yeah, the crew that taps the main, they were available on Thursday, so they dug the main. It was actually pretty deep because that main on Library Place goes underneath the brook. So they found the main where we basically had it marked, and they tapped it and just left a valve, a closed valve at that point. So they'll pick it up from there starting tomorrow.
Okay. If there are no further questions, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All right, thank
Second.
you, Paul. Second by Dino. All in favor?
Aye.
aye.
That's great. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a good evening.
You too.
Marty, what happened to your beard?
Who?
Marty, what
Oh,
happened to your beard?
he's off.
Oh.
All right.